Well, I don't often come up here, and I've never ridden up at all. So this is the first time for me actually cycling up. It wasn't too bad today. I was a bit tired, but my plan was to go quite deep into the mountains. And if you saw my video the other day, the hike rather than the bike ride, that route I actually wanted to go as far as I could. And I felt that if I got to Shimbolak, the ski resort, then a lot of the next couple of kilometers were actually level. And if I got to the end of the tarmac, then that would be a decent ride. Well, the end of this particular video, you'll see the dam, and I stayed there and I had a rest for 20 minutes, and then I just thought I didn't have the legs to start riding up another 500-600 meter elevation gain. So I didn't go any further. So it's still a plan. Anyway, this road goes up from well, it does, but obviously I don't. I should have edited that out. I don't remember why I stopped here. I was probably just adjusting something. I don't think I was tired, but who knows? Oh, I remember. Yeah, I was adjusting my rucksack because I've got a rucksack, and I use a couple of bag ties to keep it sort of quite, let's say, solid on my chest, rather than loose around my shoulders. And it was digging into my chest, so I had to keep pulling at it, and I don't know, this never happened before. I think I stopped another couple of times for the same reason. Anyway, this road goes round and up from Medeo, which you possibly saw. Yeah, there you go. See, I stopped again, trying to sort out my rucksack thing, the bag ties, or cable ties you may prefer to call them. The road goes around from the ice skating rink to the ski resort, which is, will give you an estimate about 6 or 7 kilometers further, maybe a little bit further actually. And a lot of the road is quite steep, but the middle section is actually, well, even slightly downhill from here, for this side I should say. Anyway, there was a big sign in the middle of the road here saying that, you know, you risk your life going past because of rock falls. Well, that may be true in this area. It's not unusual to have rock falls, but they have actually done a lot of work to secure the rock faces, and I'm not sure how clearly that's going to be seen coming round when I turn left around here. Actually, don't turn left immediately, right? You'll see that sort of structure on the right. Well, that's a zip line, and I don't know, maybe it's closed, because it's strange it would be closed at this time, mid-morning. Anyway, it goes all the way down to Medeo. Sorry, I did get a little bit closer. It was just about to apologise for not getting a bit closer. Anyway, got my bike a little bit caught turning it around. So, coming around here, yeah, at the moment, the slope is grassy and with trees, but when you get further around, they've actually cut out of the side of the mountain to build the road. And there's a lot of, let's say, metal mesh over the rock face, which is presumably to prevent rock falls. I don't remember whether this was there the last time I came, but I'm pretty sure it was. I don't know why I wouldn't have noticed, but perhaps because I was in the car. Not my car, I don't drive, but a friend of mine would have been taking me to the Shimbolak ski resort, but it would have been a long time ago, nearly 15 years ago, in fact. So, this road coming round, I should probably have cut some of this out, to be fair, because coming up here now, there's a long stretch, and, well, the more interesting part comes when you start to see the cable cars going over. And the video the other day I was actually on them, so you would have seen this road, but the cable cars going over. Again, it's a more interesting perspective. I think I did cut some of this out, but there's a kilometre now coming up, which is just really the same as this. You do now at least see the rock face there, and I don't know how good quality the video is. I did put it on a lower resolution today because of battery life. I didn't crash there, by the way. Don't forget the video is played at double speed, and I just stopped again. It may have been the rucksack, or I stopped for a drink or something like that, or to turn the music on or something. Anyway, the rock face there, you won't see it, sorry, no, it's not that clear, at least from what I'm looking at now. You can't see the metal mesh sort of fencing over the rock, actually draped over the rock face itself. So, coming up round this corner, I think I do cut some out. Now those wires you see there, I think they're a telegraph or electricity or something, right? The cable car wires actually come into view around the corner and then the next corner as well. So you'll see them anyway, because you can't really miss them, because they'll have cable cars going up them. Capsules. So at this point here, it's not too steep, but it's certainly clearly uphill. I started to think, oh God, I'm not going to be able to get all the way up to the dam and the mountain path, which I was on the other day, and you know, if I get to Shimbolak, maybe I'll just do an extra kilometre. And no, I just decided, probably already by now, I had decided that I was only going to go to the dam. And that's still the longest, not the longest ride, no, but it would be the first time that I'd actually ridden to the dam. Usually if I go to Medeo, I don't ride to Medeo very often, but if I do that, we generally just turn and go back. So there you go, and they need no introduction because they've already been introduced. You are almost up then, basically, when you get to the cable cars, and the dam will possibly in the next 30 seconds come into view. Possibly not. I don't remember the perspectives, okay, what you can see from where, to be honest. It won't be too long. Anyway, coming up, you see this sort of little building on the left. Well, I say it's a building, more probably should call it a structure. It's actually, I believe, a bus stop, although I don't believe there's a bus service that comes up here anymore. You can only come up here with electric vehicles. There, well, it's not very clear because, again, I played with my settings a little bit on the camera yesterday, and I think I did something that affected the light settings, unfortunately. So you couldn't see very clearly, but it's actually a mosaic. It's not painted on the side. It's actually someone's gone to the trouble in the days of the Soviet Union, I'm sure, of putting a mosaic design all over the bus stop. Mosaics here are actually pretty common, Soviet period ones. And a friend of mine actually wrote a book. I don't remember what it's called, but it's about mosaics, and I think in Kazakhstan specifically, but it might be the entire Soviet Union. Anyway, the author's name is Dennis Keen, and if you're into mosaics, it might be worth trying to get his book from somewhere. I don't know where it is. I gave him copies of my books, but I didn't ask for copies of his. Probably I should have done, actually, because I would be interested. And there we go. Now you're starting to see, although it's not so clear, you're starting to see the dam. And it's, again, as I said in the other video, if you didn't see it, I'll just explain again briefly. The dam is not to create an artificial lake. It was created, I believe, to prevent mudslides impacting too much on the city, even though the city's 10 kilometers away. I don't know the details, the background, or the facts at all, but that's what I remember being told. And that's it. It doesn't look really very much like a dam, I suppose, but that sort of horizontal line, the top of the trees and the bushes where the cable cars currently just going over now, is the horizontal top of the dam. And I'm going to ride up to the top so you'll see it better anyway. And I mentioned in the video, I think published it yesterday or a couple of days ago, that coming up now, or not now, but soon enough, there are some steps, and the steps go all the way down to the skating rink. And again, I think they're over 300. And I've walked up them once. Once. I was going to say once or twice, but I hesitated because it's probably 5 or 6 times. I don't know how fast. Didn't time myself. But there is a Strava segment, if you know about Strava. Strava's an app which you can use to track your sport, cycling, running, but other sports as well. And there is a segment which is a designated stretch of road or path which, if you go up or down it, wherever, or along it faster than anyone else, it will show you as being the fastest, called King of the Mountains, or course record. I think they changed it to not long ago. I don't know what the record is for the steps up. I could check, and at some point perhaps I will, but not in time to tell you on this video. Still, this bit now, another couple hundred meters, will turn back round, I don't know, kind of 880 degrees I would say, but not quite. And then you'll see anyway, you go along the top of the dam and there are a lot of people there having their sort of photographs taken or taking their own photographs, and presumably then they'll set back off down the steps again. I suppose for some people it would, feel like quite an achievement to get to the top. Well, yeah, it is hard, it's tough. There are a lot of steps here. They're big stone steps, and of course in winter you have to be very careful because if they're icy or if they've got snow on, you could slip. So be really careful if you do come up them. I think you'll be able to work it out for yourself. So this is the top of the dam, and I rode along here. And a few points actually turned my bike to be able to get sight of, up and down the valley, and then I just stopped for a rest. And I think I'd already decided not to go any further, but made a final decision, and possibly now sitting here at home regret it. At some point I would really like to ride as far as Shimbolak and into the mountains, as per the route you saw in the previous video, which if you didn't see, if you want, it's a hike, not a ride. Probably better for it in that sense, because I did the commentary actually during the hike, which means not a voiceover. So that was the way I decided not to go, and you can't see the ski resort from there anyway. The road, it looks flat. It's flat for a while, for about 2 kilometers, and then it just goes up like the side of the mountain, as you would expect when going to a ski resort. That's why you need cable cars to go up as well. So I rode along here and parked up a little bit, I had a drink, and then decided to go back.